Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Dassel Maria, better known as A Renewed Beauty. Today, I am hosting my first Q&A, and I've posted a couple of questions on some of my social media platforms, and I've given you guys an opportunity to ask me some questions. The questions came in pretty slow, let me say that, but hey, I am still here because I am showing up, I tell you that. So, my plan is to be consistent in this new season and just really have fun doing what I'm doing. Okay? So, if you are all for that, stick around and we'll get started in the Q&A.
Jesus, let me know, but they show no fish. Didn't say you found it, but she's still gonna hold on. They didn't say you found it, but she doesn't want.
So, welcome, my beautiful ladies and gents, if you guys are here, to my Monday night tea. This episode is entitled LUX Tea Talks. So, I am encouraging you guys to come back here every Monday night for the remaining of July for our LUX Tea Talks. So I've hosted a couple of questions on my other social media platforms, and I did get about 10 questions in. So I'm going to try and go through some of these questions and answer a few, and hopefully we will get more questions for next week, and we can continue this Lux Tea Talk. All right, so our first question, I have categorized this, so it's in the category for menopause and wellness. If you guys don't really know, I am 50, about to be plus, and I am so grateful for the years that God has given me. And I'm not one of those kind that just kind of shy away from my age. So I am really just expressing, all the grace. Yes, they are there, honey. And during this journey, we'll talk a little bit more about menopause and perimenopause and how I and some of my friends, just from our experiences, are navigating through it. So our first question is about menopause and wellness, and the first question says, "What's one thing that has helped you the most through menopause?" That that question, it's a small question but a big question, because for you guys know who is dealing with perimenopause and menopause, there are so many things that we experience in this process of perimenopause and menopause. But I'll say one of the biggest lessons is I've learned that menopause, it isn't just a physical transition. It is a mental and spiritual transition. Okay, so I've learned, first of all, to give myself grace. I've created boundaries with individuals. That's including my kids, my parents, the people who normally, just kind of rely on me for certain things. And so I had to put boundaries there because, honey, when you're dealing with some perimenopause, your nerves are about this small. Yeah. So I had to explain to everyone, listen, today is not my day, or this moment is not my moment. Or if it is my moment, I'm going to be in my moment solo. And I'm going to need for you to exit out of my moment, and we'll talk later. And I give myself grace on that and be okay. Right. And so that's one of the lessons that I've learned. I've jotted down a couple of notes, so I'm going to read this out. Sleeping is almost none when you're in this phase. So what I've learned is taking melatonin. It doesn't work for me. So it may work for some of you guys, but melatonin does not work for me. But what is magnesium? Magnesium. Oh my God. Magnesium has been so helpful for me with not just helping me to kind of rest a little bit better, but also I get leg cramps and outside of just my normal pain because I deal with our pain management as well. But the magnesium is so good for leg cramps. And I know a lot of people get restless leg syndrome when they're kind of going through perimenopause, menopause. And honey, the magnesium has been my best friend. So I used gummies, magnesium gummies, and I'll show you guys at a later date like some of the milligrams that I take, but I use the gummies. Also, I have magnesium spray. So I use the spray like when I catch a late night leg cramp and it's like no matter how much water or Gatorade I'm drinking, it's not going away. I spray that leg, honey, cramp be gone. Okay. So for one, I've given myself grace. I'm taking magnesium for sleep. I understand that this is not just a physical transition, this is also mental as well as physical. I've learned to do grounding. So sometimes I go outside, take my shoes and socks off on the ground for like maybe 5-10 minutes, just take some deep breaths and be with myself. And that really kind of helps me relieve some of the anxiety that you have from like almost like panic attacks sometimes with some of the stressors of perimenopause, menopause. Okay. Next question category, elegant living. The question is, do you have to be wealthy to live a luxurious lifestyle? No. Although I would love to be wealthy, I think it's a mindset. A luxurious lifestyle is, first of all, about intentional living. It's making your home peaceful, taking care of yourself, especially, when you're in that perimenopause, you really have to take that time for yourself. Um, it's dressing in a way that makes you feel comfortable and creating meaningful experiences. So, some of my favorite moments that's luxurious to me is when I'm the only one home and I have time to just sit with myself, drink a warm cup of tea, just kind of take in nature. Um, Walking my dog, when I'm feeling good, because there are some days I'm in pain, honey, I can't move. But when I feel good and I can get up and I can just walk around my home or, just take way more steps than I normally take with my dog, that is luxurious. Um, I think anywhere that, because I'm a traveler, anywhere I go, I plan my travels so that it feels luxurious to me. So I travel with my facial products. I travel with like things to give myself pedicure and manicure if it's not in the budget. The things that just make me happy and make me feel relaxed. I travel with my eye covers. My husband said I love gadgets, and I do. So I have like the leg massagers that you click on, honey, and they squeeze your legs. That's luxury. That is luxury. 1999 luxury. You hear me? Okay. So luxury doesn't have to be expensive. Luxury is a mindset. It's not about getting custom bags and clothes and shoes. It's about what makes you feel good. The fabric that you're wearing, the people that you're around, all of those things are luxurious or not. So when you think about luxury, you think about those things that make you feel like a queen, and that's your luxury. Okay? So, next question. How do you stay encouraged during difficult seasons? Oh, that's that it takes a lot of faith. A lot of faith, a lot of prayer. Um Intentional with who you allow in your space when you're going through those seasons, and just believing that and knowing that that season is not forever. I mean, the pain the initial hurt may pass, but the memories may still be there. So, but it's not, the sting is not going to be the same always. So just know that it's not going to be forever. Um, um, Finding scriptures and having a gratitude journal to, just really thank God for the things that are going well, and not concentrate so much on the challenging things that's happening in your life. I think that's a big thing to do to kind of really, help you out of challenging situations. If it's really heavy, um, like I said, I'm a faith bound person. So I take everything to God. So I'm going to find some scriptures. I'm going to find those meaningful songs that feed my spirit, as well as listen to affirmations. I think that certain podcasts that don't allow you to drown in your sorrow, but the podcasts that really teach you something about building and edifying yourself. Those are all ways that I encourage myself, and I allow other people to speak positive into me. And I know that I'm really like I call myself like a little superwoman, but sometimes when I'm going through challenging times, I'm resting my cape, and I need someone to really pour into me. And so um, I give myself grace enough to receive positive affirmations into my life. And I don't surround myself with people or things or music or shows that really, um, put me in a funk. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I handle those challenging situations. And one situation I can think of that was, I've had to use like an enormous amount of faith. When I was sick with COVID years ago, and I literally thought I was going to die, but I wanted to die peacefully. I didn't want to, like, if I had to die, I didn't want to die like grasping for life. I wanted to fight for life, but I didn't want to be grasping for life and not being able to, remember the good things. So I prayed each day. I listened to ministry about healing. I could barely swallow, but I was taking communion. So even if it just rests on my tongue, I did communion. Um, it was certain things that I didn't listen to the news at all. I turned the news completely off. I told the people in the hospital, I couldn't talk, but I was writing it down. No news. Do not put it on the news channel for me. I had to just really meditate in God. And, although I really felt like I was going to die, I still spoke life into myself. My husband was in the hospital sick as well, and it was more scary for me to have to think about the pain that he was experiencing more so than my own. And so I was praying, honey, and I didn't even answer text messages. If people were sending me things about new statistics and how many people had died, and like, honey, I was so deep off in my faith. Let me tell y'all, when I was at the hospital and I was finally able to kind of talk a little bit, and I asked the nurse, I was like, can I go see my husband? And they were like, I'm sorry, ma'am, you can't see your husband. You guys are on the COVID floor and you can't move around on the COVID floor. I was like, who on the COVID floor? Y'all need to get me off the COVID floor. And she was like, ma'am, you have COVID. I was like, I ain't got the same kind of COVID they got. Look, my God said, I'm healed. Get me off the COVID floor. Like, that's what my faith was, right? So it was crazy, but that was like one of the most challenging times in my life. And I really had to lean into my faith. And thank God it's been over 6.5 years. And although I still like deal with some of the residue of the pandemic, but honey, I must say, I was far more blessed in the pandemic than broken in the pandemic. So just finding the light at the end of the tunnel, just focusing on a rainbow instead of the rain. I think that's one of the best things you can do when you're faced with challenges. Okay, let's see here. marriage question. Mm. So, what advice would you give someone preparing for marriage? First of all, I would say, do you know you? Spend time getting to know yourself, because if you're coming into a communion with someone, you have a unity that you're building, you have got to know yourself in order to know what you want from another individual, or how that individual can pour into you. Because if you don't know you and you're trying to find you, then you're going to give that other person hell, because you don't even know what you want. All you know is whatever you're getting is not what you think you want, but you don't even know what you want. So I would say definitely get in tune with yourself and know you. Learn how to be with you. Be okay with you, because if you're not okay with you, you really can't expect another individual to be okay with you. Okay, so that's one of the first things. Secondly, communication. Oh, communication is big, big, big. You know, as us as women, we're very emotional. So it's best that you practice being able to express your feelings to another individual, and specifically this person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Talk to them and ask them, like, what are your views on communication, and when do you think it's talking too much? Like, when do we need to pause, take a break from communicating certain things, to make sure it doesn't go in the wrong direction? You know what I'm saying? And how will we come back and revisit it, in a short length of time, to make sure that we don't let, ills take place because we've taken too long to really talk about a situation. And how do we express, like, how you're feeling about love, and, just communication, period. Like, you need to have that conversation with the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, because their communication skills or tactics may not be the same strategies that you've been taught, or you've had to experience. So that's something that you want to put on the table, so you guys can know how your home dynamic will handle communication. I think when my husband and I, we first got together, he would tell me, and I'm a very strong individual because I was raised with like a lot of brothers, like a lot. So I was around a lot of guys, right? So he would tell me, if I say I need a little while, like 2 to 3 minutes, to process what you're telling me, I need you to give me that time to think, so that way I can evaluate myself before I give a wrong answer or something that'll hurt you. And us sometimes as women, we're like, honey, when we talking, you need to answer the question. I'll do that, but there are some, but I don't do that. But on the inside, I'm thinking, you say 3 minutes, but do you really mean 3 minutes? Are we really gonna be talking? All this is going through my head. But because he brought it to my attention early, and he said, I want you to, this is what I need for you to do for me to give me the time to have healthy communication with you. So who can argue with that? I mean, this man told me basically in a nice way, when I give you that look, I need you to be quiet for a minute. And I'll be quiet. But that has really given us an opportunity to build a really, really, really good marriage for over 22 years. So I think it works. So listen to your man, honey. Listen to your man and humble yourself, okay? Also, I think a strong marriage is built by two people who continue to grow together. If you are 22 and you guys are getting married, you're getting married to the 22 you, okay? Do not expect for your 22, 25, or 36-year-old husband to act like somebody else's 50 and 60-year-old husband, because baby, years make a difference, okay? Because you're constantly growing. So you have to allow yourself to grow, and you have to give the other person grace, because it's a lot of changes that our bodies and minds and everything go through in our early 20s that we ourselves look back and say, honey, you were crazy. You did you know you was did you know you was did you know you was psychotic? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So just imagine, you're having to grow along with somebody else. So, just remember that you're growing together. Okay. And I said 10, but I think I'm gonna close this one out because we're gonna make this first Q&A kind of short. We've already been going almost 20 minutes. So um, I'm going to answer this question because this is what I had to ask myself in order to choose to be consistent starting today. So this question says, I am also over 50. Is it too late to start YouTube? No, it is not. I am 50. I've been planning to start a YouTube channel since I was early 40s. I mean, life be lifing. I was in a career that I loved. Um, and the changes that went along with career, raising kids, allowing them to blossom, watching them, going to football games, basketball games, and family trips, and family dinner, and it was so many things that I was, imparting into my family, which is, what we all have to do, but just so many things was happening, and I just felt like I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. When I clean up my house a little bit better, I'll do it then. The kitchen is junky. I'll wait. My hair's not done. I'll wait. I'll wait until I get my makeup done. All of those things went from one day to 10 years. And I said, the amount of consistency that I have been laxed, I'm not going to do that anymore. This is my season. I'm going to do what I want to do for me. My children have all graduated high school. The oldest ones, they've started in their careers. The youngest one is starting in his career. He's starting his own family. I have grandkids, and it's like I'm not in a place anymore that I am willing to sacrifice all of me for all of you. Okay? Now, I love my family, don't get me wrong, because family to me, that's part of my luxury. I I love family. I love the new babies are born. We have like 11 grandbabies. I'm excited. Love my babies. But I love me. And this is the one time that I said, I want to do this. I want to do this. So at 50, 55, or 60, I feel like if you want to start a YouTube channel, you should do it. You should talk to, if you have grandkids, my grandbaby was, she was 9 at the time when she created my first, what is it? Not what's the little clip art thing on it? See, that's the menopause kicking in. Hold on, give me a second. It behooves me what the name of it is. And I'm gonna give myself grace. But y'all know the little picture that you put on your YouTube page before your channel starts, the little clip art, she created that for me, a 9-year-old. And at the time that was about 7 years ago. So lo and behold, get with your young folks. Ask them to walk you through some things. If you have any AI systems, question your AI. If you pay for AI, honey, ask that thing everything. I call mine my assistant. I have a personal assistant that don't have arms or legs, but honey, he's got a computer brain, and he's going to give me what I'm asking. And then I'm going to follow up with additional research and just question and watch other channels and people that actually influence you from their channels. Hey, do it. do it. The season in life that we're in, we have so much to say and so much wisdom to share. I think this is one of the best times to start a YouTube channel. If you have not started an Instagram or Facebook, hey, if this is something you want to do it. You know, I'm preparing to really explore life in a different way being retired. I retired this year. My husband, he retired me. And so I'm like, I have more time to be able to do what I want to do. And this is something I want. So I'm studying, I'm learning. I might not edit all that good. I'm not worried about being perfect. I've watched YouTube channels that, people encourage you, like, don't try and be perfect, just be consistent. Even my assistant told me, don't try and be perfect, just be consistent. And today, I am starting my journey of consistency for something that I want to do, which is start my YouTube channel, fresh, rebranding, and being more consistent, right? So if you have posted in the past, don't erase any of your old footage from YouTube. Keep that, because that keeps your followings that you have. It adds to your analytics. So don't get rid of it. Just start afresh. So I'm really, pushing to do my 30 days. And if any of you, as well, as my participant that asked about this, yes, girl, do it. You are not too old. Do it. If you're not too old to travel, if you're not too old to keep grandkids, if you're not too old to enjoy fashion, you're not too old to start a YouTube channel. Start your channel today. Let's grow together. So if you are starting your channel today, this week, this month, hit me in the chat and say, I'm 50 or I'm close to 50 and I'm starting today, and I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I am starting today. This is what I want. I'm starting today. So hit me in the chat. I'm starting today. We're going to grow together. Okay? I'll follow you. You follow me. You subscribe to our, to each other's channel, and let's grow together, because we can do this thing. All right? We super girls. Okay. All right. Show them our luxury. So that is one of my final questions for today. I would like to post a question for this group, and I want you guys to answer here in the YouTube chat. And the question for today is, what is one habit that has made your life better? One habit that has made your life better. I'll share my answer on next week during our LUX Tea Talks, and I look to see you guys' answers to the question as well. Once again, I'll repeat, today's question is, what's one habit that has made your life better? Put it down there in the chat, okay? All right, so thank you for spending time with me today. It has been a fun, almost 30 minutes chatting with you guys. I look forward to seeing you on next Monday. Stay tuned. I am also working on my day in the life vlogs, and please believe I am literal when I said I am not trying to be perfect, but instead consistent. So stay focused for that one. It's coming in. And once again, thanks for hanging out with me on our Monday night LUX Tea Talks. And until next time, toodles. Hey, I hope you enjoyed tonight's LUX Tea Talks, and I hope to see you on next Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys on next week. And also don't forget to stay tuned for my upcoming daily vlogs, as well as check me out on some of my other social media platforms. So look forward to seeing you. Love you. Toodles.